Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Drama everywhere. The M4, the dominant weapon of the first weekend of the CDL, has been banned by the professional players after it all kicked off last night. DMs exposed, the teams that wanted to keep the M4 initially have been leaked. They now changed their mind after the pressure. The M4 is out of there, the Scar is now the new meta, and some reckon it's going to be even worse than what we had with the M4. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one, man. It's absolutely hectic today, and we're going to dive straight in. This is what Slasher was up to. I think the Slasher World League might officially be back, because this guy used to kind of run the gentleman's agreements a few years ago, now doesn't get involved too much, decided to get involved last night, and basically just changed the entire tide of the story, despite not even being in the representative chat. And we'll see many leaks from that chat over the coming minutes here, man. It's all kicking off between these guys. It's not just FaZe versus Thieves, it's other teams getting involved in the drama as well. This is kind of where it all started last night, as Temp says, can we please limit it to 2 M4s per team? This is so bad. So interesting really, because we thought that maybe Vegas would be one of the teams that actually wanted the M4 meta, because theoretically they're an AR dominant team, so you know, having more M4s, having the better weapon be the M4, being the AR, might be beneficial for them. But Temp is saying, look, maybe we just GA such that the M4 can only get used 2 per team, which is an interesting way to accomplish it. Not the ideal way, but just the way these maps work right now, and just the way they're designed, and the gameplay mechanics we have, and the fact that the M4 generally is just a really strong weapon. It's been the dominant force. We've seen up to 8 on a map sometimes this past weekend. When you see aBeZy using the M4, you're like, yeah, okay, probably this gun's a bit too strong, and we need to think about something we can do to fix it. So Slasher comes out and says, at Temp, not messing around with this 6+ AR meta. I'm broken, completely defeated. And Slasher goes on to say, yeah, pros nowadays just let whatever BS slide, contradicting themselves left and right. See, me personally, I'd boot the teams who kept the M4 in out of the chat. So Slasher obviously wanted it gone, and was making his thoughts known that, yeah, they're probably not going to change it. We heard some rumors circulating that possibly after Major 1 it was going to get banned. I didn't expect it to get banned before then, but as a result of this from Slasher, people then start coming in the replies. So well, it starts off here. So Enable says, tag them, Liddy, right? Tag the teams who actually kept the M4 in, because we were kind of wondering which teams it was. We thought probably Boston, we thought maybe Vegas, and we were kind of thinking about the other ones. So Slasher comes out with the following. I'm not actually 100% certain which 4 it was. My guess is Boston, LA Thieves, Toronto, LAG. I'm probably close. So you know, he comes out with that. Then I think Insight came in the replies and said, it wasn't me, mate, it wasn't us on Toronto. So apparently Toronto didn't want it in, but then basically you need a majority. You need 9 out of 12 teams to agree to it, and then it will get banned. If there's only 8 out of 12 that agree and 4 disagree, as we have in this case, then it doesn't get banned, and that's why the M4 has remained. But Toronto say it wasn't them, therefore it was somebody else, and then Clayster basically comes out and confirms here in the replies that it was indeed them. So the 4 teams that wanted the M4 to stay were Boston, LA Thieves, LAG, and the Vegas Legion, which makes sense based on our discussion, but clearly Temp obviously not necessarily in agreement with that one. So yeah, definitely making notes on this one. So it does seem like that is indeed the case. And this is already pretty spicy, getting to know the teams that wanted it in and wanted it out, and you can understand why a team like Boston, for example, in the current meta, is having a fantastic time with it, and Thieves arguably as well, right? Okay, for all Kenny says about liking on the SMG nowadays, the fact that they can run 3 ARs in this meta because the M4's so good, that has obviously been pretty good for them, and I guess LAG feel like in a similar boat, and Vegas, I think, for understandable reasons as well. So that's the thing, right? These teams don't necessarily want what's best for the game, and neither do the other teams necessarily. They want what's best for themselves. So, you know, brings the whole GA process into question yet again. And even if the M4 is gone, it's not a guarantee that we are going to see less ARs on the map, and that is a big point that Octane, who of course was kind of a proponent for keeping it in, is going to make here in a few minutes time. So you know, anyway, Envoy comes back in the replies. He's not happy about getting outed like this, I suppose, on the Thieves. Your team voted M4 in because matches were 2 days out. So he's saying that FaZe actually did vote to keep it, but you know, probably only because, at least in FaZe's opinion, that it was like 2 days away from the start of the new season. So they were like, look, let's just keep it for now. And I thought the pros would say, you know what, let's just keep it until Major 1, play the same meta, and then call it a day and move on from the M4. However, that's not been the case. So then the leaks start coming through. So an Envoy says the following, and then Slasher says this: Boston, LA Thieves, Vegas, and LAG. 4 votes, it's already decided. Our vote doesn't matter, right? So a fair point, I think, from Slasher, that I guess they would have voted it gone FaZe, but FaZe were like, well, 4 teams already voted it in, so it doesn't matter what we say anymore anyway, so what's the point voting effectively? So, at this point we can see Boston, LA Thieves, Vegas, M4 in, one more vote to stay in. I'm not voting, it's pointless, keep it in. So someone must have sent this to Slasher because he's not in the chat, but this is a screenshot of the representative chat. And Alec from Arcitys, right, from Los Angeles Guerrillas, says, I'm not voting, it's pointless, keep it in. So that basically said that, this additional team LAG joins the other three, and therefore the M4 stays with 4 votes because they need 9 out of 12 to get it banned. Is the way they do things. Now, TJ says, I didn't vote that in, so he obviously is in disagreement, but clearly in the screenshot, Boston voted it in. So, I guess Methods is the representative here, and Methods wanted it to stay, so TJ might disagree, but, unfortunately, his GA representative in Methods voted for it to stay, so it's an absolute mess, right? And these pros are obviously not happy about this stuff getting exposed. Arcitys then says, that's me voting, so, I think he thinks that this comment here, I'm not voting, it's pointless, keep it in, wasn't him saying to keep it in, it was him saying, I don't really care, let's just run with it, whatever, but, Slasher's well, keep it in is pretty clear as a vote, right? Surely that means keep it in. I don't really know what Arcitys is getting at here, to be honest. So then he replies and explains that, he was just saying, screw it, I'm running it or something. I don't really understand what's going on there, but I thought that's relatively clear, and these tweets got deleted, and this is only a very small piece of the pie of the drama. This is where it keeps on going then, right? So we've got to scroll up here, because there's quite a lot. This was the tweet where Insight said it wasn't us at Toronto, and Slasher's look, I didn't actually know, I was just kind of, theorizing that it might be you guys, but whoever voted that and then willingly changed S&D 4 days before is smoking the good stuff. So this was the key point, right, that the snipers coming back in, the smoke grenades, all that drama was going down just a few days before the season began, but yet those same pros were oh yeah, happy to ban this thing, keep this thing into change, search and destroy, but won't change the M4 because we're too close to the game. And then we get more drama with regard to the smoke grenades. So basically what this is a tweet from Envoy here with a screenshot of the GA chat again, where he's okay, snipers in, these teams want the smoke grenades out, these teams want the smokes in, and apparently only FaZe at the time wanted the smokes out. And even this I thought was funny here from Simp, where he comes into the chat, sees that 3 teams I think want the smokes gone, and says that basically it's their call, FaZe, whether they keep them in or whether they get them gone, and he says, oh, this feels good, smokes are, he even gets it wrong, but he says snipes are, then he reckons smokes are out. So, he obviously was quite enjoying the power of making that final decision, and as Sasha says, yeah, we did want the smokes gone, did we lie about that, or why were you taking so long to decide? And Envoy was okay, I took my time deciding whether I should actually leak these DMs, and he says, okay, yeah, what you leaked isn't really referencing this M4 stuff, and he says, the smoke glitches are just blatantly abused by the players who play nowadays. When they talk about this, they're talking about Drazah, basically, so the Drazah versus FaZe thing continues, and then Envoy comes back with the classic response, talking about the snaking, so, throwing Cellium under the bus. So this is the thing, FaZe versus Thieves never goes away, even if it's not Drazah versus Simp or Drazah versus aBeZy, it's Envoy versus Slasher, talking about Drazah and, subtweeting about Cellium. So absolutely vintage stuff from the boys. So these are all the leaks that come through. These were, of course, the 3 screenshots that we just saw from leaking within that chat itself. And just before we discuss the aftermath, I've just got to mention this, I thought, from Parasite, which was a great point. So basically, there were 8 teams that wanted the M4 out, and there were 4 teams that wanted it in. But because the teams that wanted it out didn't have a majority, it stayed in, right? Now, the smoke grenade was 8 teams wanted it in, and 4 teams wanted it out. So the complete opposite circumstance, but both situations were favouring only the 4 votes in the minority. And this is because the default position for the M4 was that it's in, and therefore you need 9 to overrule it and make it go out. Whereas the smoke grenades were banned alongside the snipers, and therefore their default position is now for them to be out, and therefore they need 9 votes to get them back in. This is why it's such a mess, right? And this is why the pros just don't do a good job of this at all, because I think the default position for everything should be in. If 9 teams want something gone, then okay, maybe that's fair enough to get it gone. But because the smokes are now banned, you now need 9 votes to get them back in. What an absolute state. And that's kind of what Parasite's getting across in this tweet here. But after all these shenanigans, and after all these leaks that came through, Slasher and co managed from outside of the chat to make the pros in the chat change their mind, because maybe TJ was like, hey, Methods, why are you voting for it? I want it gone. And anyway, it all kicked off, and basically it finished up with the M4 getting gone. And as Slasher says, did I just get it banned from outside the chat? Maybe I really do run COD. And then it got confirmed by Methods, me walking in with my Scar, because that is going to be the new meta weapon we imagine here. And then it was confirmed here by Crone, the M4 has officially been added to the GA list. Voting was at 7-1, and the rest of the teams didn't even bother bother to vote according to Octane. So the M4 is now banned. One team wanted it to stay, that was Los Angeles Thieves. They've been quite clear that they wanted the M4 to stay in the meta because Octane believes that actually this new meta might be even worse than the previous one. But yeah, after all those shenanigans and after all the leaks and the drama between the teams kind of changed their mind, and the community that's kind of been pushing for the M4 to get banned in general just because it's not great fun to watch, let's be perfectly honest here. We've seen the M4 so many times in COD history. I'm kind of down for a new meta weapon, to be honest, on the AR side, and I think the community was pushing for this, and the community is now 3-0 on the season up against the pros, or 3-0 all time against the pros on the sniper bans of the last couple of seasons. Now, Los Angeles Thieves obviously aren't so happy with this because, you know, they wanted it in, they probably wanted it in until at least Major 1, and as Kenny says, I'm snitching on any team that pulls up with 3 scars in our upcoming scrims because the idea is the pros have banned it because you get 3 M4s on every map. If there's now going to be 3 scars on every map, then what's the point banning it in the first place?
Or he just really is nothing with a sub, but I guess he's just an AR player at heart. Challenge whatever he wants on a 4 here, bringing it back. Oh my, wait a second, he's actually pissing. Hold on.
Wait, what is that?
Oh my God, Reese is pissing. Does he win this gunfight on Zenny though? That is the question. Oh my God, if he won that, I would have sucked my own dick. Holy. Yo, Scar's insane.
As would I. That would have been very impressive. But
Scar's
Drazah making a big play on the...
I don't think people realize how versatile Scar classes can be. Like I said, I'm one of the... Like, I think me and Ender are the only 2 people that use the Scar. Like, still. And I don't think that other players have used it because obviously everyone's just using the M4. I don't think people realize that you can make that gun into anything you want it to be. So I think that we're going to have this entire bullshit conversation. He's using the fast Scar class. We have to GA the fast bear. Like, I guarantee you there's going to be that conversation again. Because that gun, I'm telling you right now, because no one uses it except me and Ender, is going to be nuts. I'm telling you now. And people think that now that the M4 is gone, sure, it's fine, whatever, ARs are, it's back to... No, it's not. It's not going to be back to 2-2. It's going to be nuts. And we're going to have to GA the barrels.
Paul has used it and then Don's used it.
So as Octane is saying there, right, the fact of the matter being, the M4, like the Scar, you can still make the fast Scar class. It's still a very versatile weapon because you can put like all sorts of attachments on it. Thank you to Infinity Wall and Gunsmith. So I think what Slash is trying to do is make sure that all the GAs that apply to the M4 equally apply to the Scar. And maybe that will help things get a bit more balanced, right? It's a really tricky situation. And even this from Drazah, the new M4 meta is fun, or the new meta is fun. This is him in an 8s lobby last night with the Scar drawing 52 kills. So, I mean, look, we haven't seen much more than a 30 bomb so far this season. 52 kills, 8,000 score, 2 minutes 20 in Hill. Like, that's just an outrageous game from Drazah. So, I don't know, maybe Thieves are going to be better with this than they thought they would be. But, yeah, the Scar still seems to be, as it stands, kind of dominating the meta. So this is the TAQ, right? And we can have a look at some of the stats here from Exclusive Ace. So the TAC, right, or TAQ, whatever, colloquially known as the Scar, is, you know, it fires slower, but it actually kills faster. It has a really good multiplier to the upper body, so it's more punishing, right? If you miss shots with the Scar, you're going to get punished for it. But if you nail all your shots, then it kills even faster than the M4. To me, it's a less versatile weapon. Like the M4, like it's quite clear at the start of this game, people were using the Scar and the meta was okay. Then people realized the M4 was better, which I still think it is better, and then they started using that and it absolutely took over. Now, whether the maps and the design and all this type of stuff, you guys can see right here, the time to kill of the M4 is actually slower, but it does fire faster, it's more forgiving, and the weapons may be on relatively equal footing. But yeah, what do you guys think about this in the comment section below? An absolute madness of an evening on Twitter. The funny thing is about Call of Duty, the matches are entertaining enough with all the drama that happens there. The Twitter game is like the most entertaining of any esport you're ever going to see in the world. It's actually unbelievable, the type of stuff that happens. But yeah, for now the M4 is gone, it's probably not going to come back. But the question is, if the Scar is also too strong, then what is the next step for the pros? Do they, you know, do they go straight to the Lackman? Do they try something else? I mean, man, it's an absolute mess. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.